Welcome to the CFG GameCast, episode number 71, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Saturdays or Sundays and release it on podcast services like Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and a whole lot more. So show us some love. Give us a follow, a like, a comment, what have you, to any of the podcast services that you know out there, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today are my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. How are you doing, Lex?
I'm good. How are you?
What's so funny?
We know it so well now, Smitty and I. It's like a bit. We go along with you and say all of the words, and I try to see how long it takes me till I screw up. And I got almost to the end. The last two sentences I messed up this week, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We're at episode number 71. Like the first 20 episodes were like mulligans, you know, because we're just trying to fill it all up and trying to figure out what to say. Now we know it, so that's cool. I'm good. I'm glad that y'all are starting to go. But anyways, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I spent last night with my goddaughters over at their house. We grilled some burgers and had some french fries and tempura buttered onion rings. They were delicious.
Ooh,
and sweet potato
sounds
fries.
tasty.
That sounds amazing.
Potato salad. It was delicious. And then we had some Boston cream pie and we watched Rocky Horror Picture Show live. They did. Tim Curry produced it.
What's a Boston cream pie?
What?
You don't?
I've never had one. Never had one.
Oh, so good, dude. Isn't it Boston cream pie is the chocolate, right? It's like a chocolate cream. Yeah, dude. It's about the only kind of like chocolate I actually like is a Boston cream pie.
So the top has the chocolate cream, and then it's like sponge cake, and then in between that has like the same cream on top, but it's vanilla in the center. And then
so it's like a zinger.
Can you stop?
It's
like a donut, like a chocolate covered donut, and it's got that vanilla cream inside, not regular cream, but vanilla cream custard. That's what it's like.
It's really good, dude. It is really good. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's
cool. We watched Rocky Horror Picture Show live, the one Tim Curry produced recently, and it was like on a Zoom call. It was cool to watch. The girls got a little bored, so then we put on Scream. And let me tell you, I'm the house that the girls come to, and they're like, "Can we watch scary movies?" I'm like, "I guess so. Are you old enough?" And we watch spooky stuff. So last night, I was expecting them not to like be interested in Scream at all. Their eyes were glued, and then they kept using Adam's hands to cover their eyes because they were actually getting scared. I was surprised. I was like, "Oh yeah." So it was a lot of fun. We just kind of relaxed, and it was a good time.
That's good. That's great. So there was no dress up or anything, right? Like y'all didn't dress up or anything, or for
no. It was
costume?
mandatory that we came in onesies, which Dust was not happy about. So
What?
I was in I know. That's what I said. I came out of the room and in my skeleton onesie. I go, "Excuse me," and he goes, "Yes." And he's all dapper and like adorable. Put your onesie on. He goes, "No, my onesie's broken." I go, "Then put my onesie on," because I have a man's onesie, my teddy bear one. It's big and baggy. And he was like, "Fine." So he put that on, and like I made his mustache all nice. I was like, "You could put the bowler hat and be a dapper bear." And he said, "Absolutely not." And then he decided, "I'll just wear my other onesie." And so we went. He pouted the whole time. It was fantastic.
The mustache. That's great. Man, it sounds like a nice Saturday Halloween night. Jeez.
And we were out on the patio. The weather was great. It was fantastic.
See, that sounds awesome.
Scaring the neighbors,
All right.
so.
How about you? We got the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. How was your Halloween, my dude?
It was good, my friend. We got dressed up. We ended up going as basically classic monsters. Lizard Elsa was a zombie nurse. I was Frankenstein, and then Scorp Kitty was a mummy. But what we ended up doing was bagging up a bunch of candy, and we hung them from our trees and stuff like that. Then we pulled the cars out of the driveway, and we moved our fire pit up front because we got a little fire pit. And we just chilled in the driveway, and you know what I mean? We had like a good 30, 35 kids that came through, and then Lizard Elsa, we did a little scavenger hunt for candy for her. We did end up going up and down a little bit of the houses on our road. It was nice to see people were, they had measures for social distancing and stuff like that. So overall, it was good. Then we watched Hocus Pocus last night. So nice. That was her first time seeing that. That's obviously classic. So it was good. It was a lot of fun. And I mean, dude, it was first time. It was her first time. Yeah. Yeah.
Did she love it?
She absolutely loved it. Yeah. She enjoyed it a lot. I think we're going to move on to the witches next, because that was what we were looking for. We were looking for the newer one. But I think we'll watch the older one and then end up watching the newer one or something like that.
Watch the old one first.
Yeah, I remember that movie being terrifying, right? Like it kind of freaked me out.
The new one, not terrifying.
Not so much. Yeah.
Not really. It's good.
So and then of course we've been playing. I had totally forgotten that Watch Dogs Legions was coming out. So because I have the Ubisoft Plus or whatever, it was available. So I ended up picking that up. We've played that the last couple of streams. I was supposed to get down on Blessed Unleashed with you guys. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get in, but this coming up week, I'll be playing it. So I'm excited to play that game. That was one that I've kind of been wanting to play since I remember hearing about it. I was like, oh, dude, I was like, this looks pretty dope. So overall, man, pretty good. Just ready for these new consoles to drop and whatnot. What about yourself, my friend?
Oh man, like it was actually a really, really fun, like really crazy week. Which week hasn't really been crazy for the most part. But basically, well, first off, so as you know, I've been building my computer. I've been trying to get the parts for it. I chose probably the worst time to ever build a computer for myself. So as usual, the 3070s were released this week. Guess what? Those were sold out in less than 2 minutes, so didn't get one. So starting getting frustrated. So now I decided, because now like the countdown is real about Cyberpunk 2077. Now I might have to hold off to play that game until next year for it. So, but hopefully that's not going to be the case. But then again, during that time though, I was doing some pretty cool stuff, getting ready for the Extra Life stream that we're about to do this weekend. And as well, as well as going to just been streaming some more Yakuza 0, which by the way, I will have to say, I didn't think Yakuza 0 was, I won't say it's pretty raunchy for the most part. I did not think that Yakuza got that raunchy at times.
I didn't know it had any raunch to it.
Yeah,
I've got some of those games.
I got stabby, shooty, not booby.
No, they have a lot. There's a lot of stuff in it. There's a lot in it. At first I was doing the story. And then there was a person of a dude funneling a girl's breast. So I was like, that's no problem. But then he forces the girl to go, puts his hand on the guy's lap, and let's put the rest of the imagination in, and then going through the motion. And I was like, what the hell is this? It's like, wow. And I was streaming it. And so I was trying not to make it innuendo or anything of it. And I was, so that was a little crazy. But then they have these spots, like there's this one called Japan's Catfight Club, and it's a side mission that you have to do. So you have to bet who's the best cat fighter, and then there's also the teleline where you had to go talk to call girls. I was like, wow, this game is actually more raunchier than I thought. So this is probably the last Yakuza I will stream, I will say. But that's not saying that it's a bad game. It's a fun game. And the side missions are just, it's a really fun tag to it. So but I will finish this game, and then I'm not going to stream the rest of them until maybe unless I double check it. But
why don't you add a censor section so that you can just click it and move it over? Censor.
That's
too much work.
Some pixels over there, and there we go.
That's just too much. Yeah, that's just too much work. It's a fun game though, but they definitely did a great job on it. But man, I did not you really caught me off guard with all the stuff that was in it. There's a lot of random innuendos and stuff. I just met this guy that was basically, they call him Miracle Johnson, but it's really Michael Jackson in the 80s. So
That's
like it
hilarious.
was very, very random. Yeah, but so I've been doing that. Then played some Bless Unleashed with Lex, which I'm pretty sure Lex is now 100% like hooked on that game. Which was fun. It was a fun game. Definitely big shout outs to them making it. And then also played a little bit of Legions, which Legions I have to say is like Legions is my first introduction to Watch Dogs. I didn't play the first two.
Oh,
Yeah, so because I didn't really got into it, but then like started playing and messing around with what Legion was, and then I like it. It's really, really good. So I definitely give a good shout out to them on that. But I need to play some more of it to kind of catch my feel of it. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. But anyways, I know y'all don't want to talk about all my craziness adventures of Yakuza 0, so let's just go to the normal rigmarole like we usually do every week. So each of us chooses a topic or discussion within video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry itself. And we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the people on Twitch, to be a part of the conversation. Excuse me. Wow. So if you want to be a part of it, just type in what you're wanting, your point or your view of it. We would love for you to talk and discuss it with you with any topic that we are doing. So let's get this started. We'll start off with Smitty. What do you got?
Yeah. So, anytime there's going to be any kind of Anthem news, I've got to talk about it, basically. They have now started coming out. And again, this is the important part is that this is still in a conceptualization stage right now, but we're at least starting to get to see some of the changes that they're looking for on Anthem 2.0. A big of them, again, if you guys did play Anthem, there was a lot of stuff lacking in there. Just the leveling up system, their loot system, like there were a lot of things that were wrong with it. They've basically gone back to the drawing board with it. Again, the best part about this is their flying mechanics. Some of the smoothest flying mechanics I've played with, but it just lacked so much. But we see now that they're coming out and they've revamped this skill tree now as far as Anthem 2.0. They're talking about all items are being categorized to one of the 11 available equipment slots. Weapons are either primary or secondary, allowing distinctiveness in their role. Mods and artifacts slots replace components, which I hated the component part, so I'm happy to hear that stuff. Really, this is basically talking about how they're looking to add more customization and things like that into this game via the skill trees, being able to level things up. One of the biggest things that I felt that this game was lacking were those really unique weapons. That's one thing that I loved about Destiny 1 and like its raids and stuff like that. You literally got weapons that the only place you can get these weapons were if you completed this raid. And even if you did complete the raid, it was still a gamble on what weapon you'd end up getting. Made it really thrilling, and it kind of was almost like an achievement. Like, I did this super hard thing. Not many people have this weapon. You know what I mean? It does amazing stuff. So I'm loving seeing them kind of going that route with this. I always feel that, especially game service or service games like these, they need something unique about the weapons, not just, hey, I got a random cool machine gun. You know what I mean? Give me one that does like lightning damage and shoots dragons out of, you know what I mean? I don't know, something cool that, you know what I mean, that is going to be really distinct from everything else. I feel like
squids.
Yeah, exactly. Anything, you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of fun stuff that people want to, that to me makes a game worth grinding. You know what I mean? And putting that time. Obviously, that also needs to be coupled with having variety, having a reason for players to come back and play the game, even though it may be, very similar content, or having to, it starts getting a little repetitive and stuff like that. But by that time, if you have a proper roadmap and whatnot, I feel like by that time that starts setting in, then it's like, all right, here comes our next thing, or we're ready for this next stuff. They lacked all of that coming out in this last one. So I feel like this is a nice glimmer of hope. Again, for me, I really, really want to see Anthem succeed. You guys saw me. I went all in on Anthem. I went super crazy on it, and I don't even know why. I thought it was going to be it. And then, you know what I mean? Like, it just was not it at all. So I'm really hoping being able to see some of these things, the skill tree changes, expanding out your javelins, and then them having different unique abilities and stuff like that. I think that's a good start. You could see, if you're watching, you could see some of the differences here on the right side. I feel like that's easier to read. That seems a lot more. It just flows a lot better. And again, this is just a concept. I don't know that this is what it's going to look like, but I feel like this seems more in line with a Destiny-ish game. You know what I mean? And kind of makes going in and customizing and stuff like that a lot more simplistic than what the previous system was. So I don't know. I wanted to know what your guys' thoughts are. Again, this game still has a long ways to go. I think it's going to be at least a couple to a few years before it's actually out again. But we'll see.
My thing is that I think it's too late. I mean, no,
I don't feel like it is. I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be. But
it's
again,
a problem, though. I mean, yeah, but like, come on, dude. Like, okay, no worries. But like, I'm just saying that, like, overall, like, yeah, it's cool that they're fixing it. But dude, like, first off, this game came out when February of 2019, I believe.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So that we're just now getting somewhat the nips, like the little tips of the iceberg of what they're doing to get this fixed, and we're in 2020. So then technically, the way I'm looking at this is that this game is nowhere near being finished at 2.0. The game is going to be re-released as a 2.0 release, and we're at 2020. It's going to be 2021 in literally 2 months. We know it's not going to be coming out this year, and we sure as hell know. I'm sure as hell know, pretty confident that it's not going to be something in the early to mid 2021 at the best, maybe at the earliest, maybe at late 2021. But like, come on, you're telling me 2 years? Yeah, 2 years in advancement of this game, knowing that this game was unfinished when they first initially came out, and then now you're trying to fix it with your friends and stuff. Like, I feel that, like, what No Man's Sky did, I feel like at the time when No Man's Sky did what to turn it around was good enough for No Man's Sky, because it was something that was like their kind of game is kind of semi-original. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it was just exploratory in the different kinds of things. When they added more of the meat and potatoes to it, there wasn't anything that you could really compare to this. But you just compared it to a game that's already been out forever, Destiny 2. And that game's been out even longer. But even prior to that, there's also going to be other future games. There's going to be like looter shooter. That's going to be not necessarily looter shooters, but, well, I guess they are looter shooters that will be coming out in the next gen, like Godfall. God forbid, like with Godfall. I'm not saying that's going to be a good game or a bad game, but it's a game that's coming out nonetheless, you know. And then you also got, like, I mean, other things that's going to be coming into it. And then in the time where people's attention spans are very minuscule, you're then telling a person you bought a game from 2019 to wait until this game comes back at 2.0 at a ridiculous at an unreasonable time. I think that's why I feel like it's too late. I mean, I think I'm going to give it a try again, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be successful.
That's the biggest thing, though, dude. I completely disagree. I think if you make a good game, people will play. I think it's easy enough to and there will be enough time that had passed to where you remarket this and do some things. I think it could be successful if they, again, make it the game that it could be. And I know that there's other games that are in this genre and whatnot, but there was something very unique about this game, and I feel like there were some good elements to it. You know what I mean? And it just wasn't fleshed out enough. There wasn't enough things to do. I mean, I feel like with time, I almost feel like the time and a little more time that passes actually may benefit them more, other than the sour taste that's left in people's mouth from the original launch.
I mean,
I don't know.
No, go for it, Lex. Go for it, Lex.
So, yeah, I agree that it can be remarketed and you can turn this around. Absolutely. For me, watching Smitty's disappointment and how upset he was, for me, no, I'm good. Unless I see like 100% turnaround, and obviously people are playing it and enjoying it, and my friends are like, yeah, no, this is a totally different game, but what we liked before is still here, and they actually fleshed it out and finished it, then maybe. But in the meantime, I mean, it sucks because I literally watched one of my best friends get so excited over something to be then so disappointed and keep pumping money into it, thinking it would just get better, and it didn't. And for me, it's not a sour taste. I just felt bad. It Man, it was so
That's
sad.
how I feel about my friends that support Bethesda.
Oh man,
Like, I just feel bad for you.
that's just like, yeah, that's the whole level of it in itself.
Because that's what it was. I mean, basically, dude, people got super hyped for it, and then it was just like, "What is this, dude? Like, this can't be, you know."
Yeah, but you can't but you're now expecting a person. Now we're in the middle of a upgrade to a different system across. Now we're across a platform, a different platform from when it was initially supposed to be made out of. Then you're telling me I mean it's I don't think I just don't think that it's going to. I would love for it to succeed. Don't get me wrong, because I love BioWare. I really, really do. But I think that the time frame of whenever this game is going to come out and if they're I guess more transparent on what they're going to try to do to get to make people turn around and wanting them to play this again, they have a steep, and I mean steep uphill for them for people to come back into it. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible for them to do it, because it has been done. I mean, but overall, I just think that I think what Lex really does put a pretty good point of when No Man's Sky came out. I'm going to kind of come in with this. When No Man's Sky came out, yeah, there was a lot of people that were disappointed when it initially came out, but this was a AAA title. I mean, this game was a AAA title. Right. A lot of eyes were set on this, and I think, and when people bought it and just went straight on and was just expecting this to get better after the initial release, but it didn't. But I think people's full on first impression of this game to do that, I think, is a little too much, on top of who made it, which is EA. Technically, overall, even though it's still EA. So that's why I really don't. I mean, I love the fact that they're working on this. I'm going to try this again, but I just don't. I don't see it. I mean, I don't want to be pessimistic about it, but I just don't see it. I mean, it's just it's very weird to me, like how I mean, I'm sure most people that are in the chat right now have played Anthem, and then but then people will probably have that memory of it too. And then if they do change the things for the better, but I still think it's going to be not oh wow, this was worth the 3-year wait for this game to come out. you know?
Well, I mean, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, and it's by EA. For EA to put out a game with such a big name, to put out a title that's supposed to be this AAA game, and it's not finished, and there's really nothing to do in it. That always confused me. I was just shocked that it would.
Because they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what they were. Dude, I remember this game being announced when I was playing Destiny 1. You know what I mean? They took 7-8 years developing this, and that's as far as they got. They didn't, but they were. I mean, we found out later that there were all kinds of behind the scenes issues, and basically they didn't really start developing the game until 2 years before it came out. And there's all kinds of other shenanigans and whatnot as well. So again, this is I feel like this is a game that fell victim to mismanagement by the developers and the company, and the shit that went down leading up to this game and its release. And then at what point in time, I mean, this is how I feel. I know there's a lot of people that get super salty about Cyberpunk getting delayed. And it's like, look, dude, if I've learned anything, is that I would rather you delay a game than put out a piece of crap. Because you're gonna damage yourself much worse putting out a piece of crap, you know what I mean? Something that's clearly not done, as opposed to just eating some of this internet heat, which again, people have no patience. They have, you know what I mean? They're so quick to jump on that, like, I've been waiting, blah. It's like, dude, there's so many games out there right now and so much stuff. I know that we're all pumped, but let them make it right. Don't you want it to be a good game, a good solid game? Let them do the things, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a psychology behind that, though, that states that even if, and it was done on people who are huge fans of Bethesda, that they wait for so long for something of a company that they already know and love, right? And once it finally comes out, even if it is bad, they don't care. They're going to love it regardless because they've hyped it up in their mind to be this behemoth of a game. No matter what it is, they're going to love it. And that's what happened with Fallout 76. So many people were just like, I love it because I have to.
Well, I mean that's something out of the ordinary. I mean, it's just people trying that falls prey from the hype of what you're wanting to do because like everyone says, yeah, like what everyone says though. No, I mean like if we've been wanting to play Cyberpunk 2077, then let's say God forbid Cyberpunk 77 isn't as what we were expecting it to be. But then people will still try their best because they were literally waiting for 4 to 5 years for this game to make it a game that they will like. So they're going to try in their best to be like to see the optimistic side. Everyone has done that. I mean, like at some certain point to something like that they were really looking forward to, but really it's not good to that kind of expectations or the right expectations that it needs to be in. So I mean, just people's personal opinions, subjective personal opinions, really. So like I mean, but overall, I just think that like this game is, if this game says they're going to make version 2.0 slated to come out 2022. I say overall it's unacceptable because the game came out in 2019. Is what I'm saying. It's like that's why I'm like it took them this long to do what they're needing to do to fix the initial mistakes of the initial release of the game. It takes them years to do that, and then and I'm just like, you're telling me by that time that there's other games. We don't know what's out there in the future, what's going to be out there in the near future, but I'm sure as hell know that people, there's going to be better games to say that they had that won't force them to take years in the making just to get the patch to work the way they want it to work. Is my point.
And the way I see it too is I kind of feel that that they've taken the same stance, that they have already given up on this game. And this is just hey, here's this. You could do something with it if you want. We don't really care.
At this point, make an Anthem 2.
But exactly. It's just like, at that point, it's like, why not? I mean, you can just make an Anthem 2. You haven't even finished Anthem.
I mean, you can't. I mean, you have to draw the line somewhere. Is where it comes to be. People are gonna be pissed and salty on it, towards all of that. But
I think regardless.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing though too. It's like people. It's a weird combination because I feel like there's a lot of people that have just like they're gonna bitch about a game or whatever regardless. But at the same time, I think there's also a lot of valid points that people make as far as the products and what publishers and developers are putting out there as completed games. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's so hard because in one sense it's like I get it, I understand some of that outrage, but at the other point, you know what I mean? Like you see where like it doesn't matter what these people did or are doing.
Right.
These people just.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, they're basically stuck in between nowhere in the rock in between itself because there's really nowhere to go at this point with this, and they don't want, and I really doubt that they're wanting to use their more resources to fix this game. So like, right. It would have made more sense for me for them to just say, okay, you know what, we're gonna make Anthem 2, like, and then let people bitch and moan about the fact that they made the sequel of a game that didn't end up going with it.
I'd be like, Anthem 2 better be free, son. They're building that free to play.
Turducken 13 says a lot of people are okay with games not being finished as long as they throw the early access label on it. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with early access. I've never really been okay with early access personally because because basically early access is just a place marker saying beta. And then we don't know how long it's going to take them. To fully finish said game. Because there's certain games that are still, like if you go to the Steam store, there's certain games that are still in beta that's been years. And then and I don't like that idea. Like I don't like when games are not finished and they're going to be adding more and more content on it. But personally, I don't know.
Citizen is just a beta with content constantly added to it.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, but what's even worse is that if a AAA game, which Kohakamune actually just said, different choosing to play unfinished game, unfinished and buying a AAA is exactly
True.
what I'm saying. It's like you paid $60. You're expecting a full game. It's just like a NBA 2K, what we were talking about last week about 2K21 when they were wanting to add commercials on a game that's technically AAA
That's
level.
crazy.
So I mean, like there's a certain level of expectations that you're wanting to get for these for games like that. Like you like if you're gonna if PlayStation decides to up the price to their 60 from $59.99 to $69.99 game, so you're paying $70 for a game. You're not gonna I'm not gonna be cool with just saying, okay, the game isn't fully done yet. but we're going to be doing random update patches and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's not what I'm agreeing with. That's why I'm not buying, like, I didn't buy Marvel Avengers because I feel like that game wasn't complete yet. So so yeah, no, that's yeah. So I really hate the early thing when it comes out to that kind of stuff. It's just another excuse. If you finish the game, just finish the freaking game. But like, because there's so many games that come out that that I'll keep my time to be occupied. We're doing what we're doing. Like what Cyberpunk 2077 is basically doing is like they're not gonna release the game until it's absolutely finished, which is more power to them on that. It's like it's really irritating when you see stuff like that. So but anyways, let's see. As long as the devs are fully involved with it, I'm okay with it. But when they don't listen to their communities, I don't like that. And that's and guess what? Then yeah. But it is a slippery slope when it comes to that. Because like when it comes to that, then when you end up doing stuff like that, you get stuff like how Mighty Number 9 was with their with their production, Shenmue 3, which was garbage as well.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
jumped over the little kid, remember, at the end, so he's fine. Don't talk about Shenmue like that.
Indivisible, that's another one. Indivisible was a great game, but like it's still like I mean, there's so many different there's dev hell, and then like and you could easily get yourself into that when you're just saying, oh, we're gonna finish it, but you could still play the game of what we finished so far. It's like no, especially when you're spending the kind of money that you're spending. So no. Lex, what are you bringing to the table?
Who, me? Well, yeah.
You're muted.
No, I pressed
That's
it.
okay.
I had pressed it, but it didn't the bleep. And I jokingly said, "Let me repeat, who, me?" Yeah. So basically, we're having a competition. Thank you, sir. Sorry. Seizure.
That was pretty slick. You're not even looking. Yeah. You weren't even looking.
Coming. Hold on 1 second. Pardon me. Health problem. You know me. I don't know. Talk to my doctor and be like, "Hey, am I narcoleptic? Because I don't know what's going on, but I have suspicions."
That happens sometimes where you just kind of go out of it a little bit. And
after COVID, it's become a lot more. Sorry, sidetrack. It's become a lot more noticeable that all of a sudden, and it's not like food coma, but a lot of the times I happen to be sitting on the couch and we have dinner and then we sit on the couch, right? All of a sudden I'll get really tingly and I'll look at Adam and I go, "It's happening." And then I'm out and I cannot open my eyes. I cannot move. I can hear for a good portion and then it's like lights out. And I can fall asleep really easily at night, but then I don't stay asleep. But all of a sudden I'll get like just sudden urges of like sleep now. And then I can't do anything. So I don't know if it's seizure related or maybe I am narcoleptic, maybe. I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
It's really weird. But yeah, I digress. Sorry guys. Don't worry, I'm fine. I don't drive anymore. So listen to go see Ducky at the grocery store, just 2 minutes away. Guys, the AMD RX 6000 release has been dated. The specs, the price, the performance. It's all been released, and now we have a competitor for the NVIDIA cards. So now there's multiple names. The fans gave it their own little rendition, the Navi. but it will be labeled RX 6800, 6800 XT, and the 6900 XT. So, yeah. So these are going to rival. They come out November 18th, 2020, which is that's what everyone was wondering, because if you couldn't get the NVIDIA cards, which were just released, this was your next option, but we didn't really know too much about it. So finally, the RX 6000 series, which goes by many names, the architecture is officially known as the RDNA 2, sometimes referred to Navi 2X by AMD. The graphics card themselves, as we know, will be branded under RX 6000 series. So there's a lot of hype behind it. Lisa Su, the company's talked about it and said it's the next gen's GPU. There's even talk that it might rival the NVIDIA series? ? So at a glance, basically, the RX 6800 and the RX 6800 XT will go on sale November 18th. So you're going to have to wait for the 6900 till December 8th. And there's a lot of promise behind this, serious promise. So what they're saying is the 6900 XT, which is what will come out in December, is 80 CU GPU, which if you, for you nerdy people, CU stands for control unit. 80 CU GPU we've been expecting, with the RX 6800 and 6800 XT will be at 60 and 72 respectively. All three cards are coming with 16 gigabyte GDDR6, and we're looking at the top card trading blows with the 3090, the RTX 3090, and the RX 6800 XT taking on the RTX 3080. I know, stay with me.
But just say the 3080 and 3090, or like the 3080. Yeah, a lot easier.
Yeah, 3080, 3090, they're going to rival head-to-head with them. And then the RX 6800 from AMD itself is shown as being often above the 2080 Ti from NVIDIA, putting it quicker than the RTX 3070. So you are getting some bang for your buck with these. So pricing, I know. You're like, Lex, get to it. I'm here. Okay. The RX 6800 is $579. And then the 1600 XT, $649. And then hold your breath, 6900 is going to be $999. I know it's a lot. But listen, if you're a gamer, you're going into this as an investment, right? This is an investment to your future. We're at a point where games and cards are they can push further than the games are actually going. So you can do a lot with these cards. Gaming technology is catching up, but we're at a pivotal point in gaming right now where these cards can handle so much. And a little tweak to them. I mean, I did an upgrade. Ducky will tell you. He sold me one of his cards for cheap. Thanks, buddy. And all the problems I had previously, gone. Done. Everything works so smoothly. It's like butter. So, yes, it's expensive, but they're gonna be worth it. One last thing from Lisa Su was asked about potential supply issues, and did say that demand will exceed supply in certain segments. As we go into 2021, she said, I think we are planning for success, and so we're working very closely across the supply chain to ensure that we have enough wafer capacity as well as back-end capacity, and we're going to continue to work on that. But certainly there are areas where we would like the supply to be higher, and we're working on that. I mean, God, if you scroll all the way down, Smitty, I don't know if you're able to pull it up, but it has a comparison of all three with the CU, the process, the game clock, boost clock, infinity cache, memory, TDP, price, and the release dates. And it's just,
ridiculous.
It's phenomenal. I'm so excited. I don't know. I nerd out on stuff like this. Like,
you do? I didn't know that.
I love it. Well, I used to build computers. I worked at Circuit for a long time, and that's what I did. I fixed computers, and then when Circuit went down, I built servers and computers for companies, like a lot of small law offices and stuff like that. A lot of your favorite cupcake places in town in Las Vegas. Hi, I built their servers, and so. I'm sorry. Oh, don't tell. I won't tell that you gave me a great deal on a card. Shh. Okay. I'm stoked. Like, but this is good for everybody because Nvidia needed a rival, and AMD and Nvidia kind of, but they never really like. It was always get an Nvidia card. Like AMD's good if you're just starting out, but you're gonna need an Nvidia card, and that was kind of always the talk of the town. And I think now AMD is gonna go, no, give me my boxing gloves. Let's go, And I'm so excited for this. It's only good for us if there's a competitive market, right? In the long run, that's always good for the consumer. Whether it's streaming and YouTube and Twitch are going at it for highest streaming capacity. It's always good for the consumer and the user if there's competitivity.
Well, like overall though, like, well, yeah, you already did. Yes, you definitely did. I mean, basically the whole. I think if you had to phrase everything in one word, I would say teraflops. But I'm just.
I knew you were going to say that. I love the teraflop.
But just kidding.
Exactly.
But like overall, like yes, I totally agree with you, Lex. I think that Radeon's finally is coming in step with Nvidia. It took them 5 years to do it, but they finally have done something to be kind of close to it. Right now for me, like I even said before the stream, because like since these freaking these RTX cards are so hard to get, like I'm actually like going to go, like I will go. Well, there's two things I'm going to do. First, I'm willing to get a Radeon. I haven't gotten a Radeon since 2008. For me personally, and two, I'm actually going to go to a store instead of getting it online. So like trying to go for it online. So like because like we have a micro center here that actually holds all this stuff up like crazy. So but like overall the card itself, the specs very very competitive to the 30 series. I will say the one thing I'm kind of wondering about and when you said $999 for the high end card, the 6900 XT, that actually is a good price because the RTX 3090 was going for at base price $1,500, and but all three of the cards also have 17 gigs of DDR6 memory, which is also impressive. So, but the real thing is I need to see more benchmark tests, not from the company themselves. Not saying I don't believe them, but I need outside sources to kind of see where they stand when it comes to things like that. And also wanting to check out to see what their their ray tracing, how ray tracing works on this cards. So those are the best. These are the two biggest things that I need to, that I'm wanting to look for. But one of the biggest things, it's actually kind of funny that is what Turducken said was like I might was if it if how it's going to be, because I know Radeon cards don't use NVENC for codecs, and then for the most part, long story short, Radeon's drivers for video has been really crappy comparatively. So I don't know what to expect on that. Luckily, I do have a computer that is going to be a streaming computer itself, so I'm going to be cool with it. So overall, yeah, look at the stocks. $75. Oh, I might get some of that. But yeah. So like no, but like I'm definitely glad that the competition is finally coming. If everything is true, at least that the competition is actually coming between the two different companies for this. So but we'll see. And I'm definitely gonna get one or the other here very very soon.
Well, and then a good thing to think about too is like you're always either Intel or AMD. I've always been an AMD gal myself. Back in the day there were a lot of issues with Intel running hot and all of that. So I've always kind of just been an AMD person. So if my components are both AMD, maybe that'll work better. But you are correct. When I had my AMD card, which I still have it, anyone want to buy it? The driver, like, always, every time it was like, your driver, and then I would go to upload it and it was like, sorry. I'm like, oh my god, what did I do? And then it was a hissy fit and I'm like, I'm late for streaming. Now that I have my Nvidia card, I don't have that issue, so
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50
knock on some
there.
wood.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's the one thing
definitely-
that's great about AMD though is it's much cheaper. And their quality, you know, again, it's nice to see them stepping up and getting to this level where they're being able to be competitive with Intel and what they're doing. I don't know exactly what CUs are in compared to, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what CUs are. There's a couple things on here that I don't understand. That's been my biggest thing as far as, but what does that mean? What does it do? Oh. Yeah. So what do the numbers mean though? Like I just see numbers next to it and it's like,
Well,
are those good numbers?
Yeah, the representation.
Like,
I guess the representation. I guess with CUs is like saying, oh, it has 80 CU components. I'm assuming it's like, oh, that's a lot. You know, I mean, but then again, when you think about it, it's a video card. Think of it like you have the brain, which is the CPU, which is the master. Then you have another card. Then you have the GPU that's also like the that's like a semi part that kind of help with the load of all of that. So it may not be as strong, but it might be high. I don't know, like, to be honest, if anyone knows.
Isn't AMD good for, can't you, like, with AMD, like AMD has those ones that have like a ton of is it a ton of, it was a Threadripper? Is that AMD?
Yeah, but that's like server. Well, it's not server, but it is like a level higher, like before you hit server grade.
Right.
That's really mostly, it's not really, I would say with Threadrippers, not the best to go with for gaming per se, because like for the amount of money that you're paying for all of that stuff, it's like it's way too expensive, because the board's expensive. Yeah, well, the board's expensive. It's a different board. It's a different chipset. The CPUs are higher, but like, but it doesn't work the same. Just kind of like, it's kind of like the same thing when you had when you SLI'd graphics cards. It didn't use the same technology. Depend on the games and stuff that you play that would utilize that technology. It's the same kind of way when it came to that kind of deals. Like, so usually I'm not for it.
I guess I'm having a bit of hesitation as far as with this, because I've said this before too. It's like, man, maybe I should try out AMD, but it's like, I don't know, like compatibility wise, you know, is it compatible with my motherboard right now? Like my biggest thing is that I need not my motherboard. I need to do my basically my processor is like the last big piece, which I think I will end up having to get another motherboard that will be able to handle. But it's like right now I'm trying to figure out, do I go that route and stick with NVIDIA, or do I just do a completely different build and go with AMD and things that are going to be more compatible with that? Do I mix and match? You know what I mean? It's like
what I have right now. Yeah, well, what I have right now, theoretically, like I have an AMD, like right now, what I'm on the computer right now is AMD board, AMD, which I switched to AMD a long time ago. I haven't had an issue with AMD either, just like with Lex, but the video card is NVIDIA. That's not a big problem with it itself. It's just the PCIe connection.
They don't get upset with each other at all. Now, if you're wanting to do a test run, you're more than welcome to use my AMD card as like a tester just to see, by all means. But I don't. So you know what's funny is when I put my NVIDIA card in, it doesn't talk to me. It doesn't bother me. It just does.
It just does its own thing. Yeah,
if
that's
the
what I love about it.
AMD card, when I put it in, it does what the NVIDIA card does, and it just does, then I'm happy. Like I don't have to touch it, I don't have to look at it, I don't have to tell it what to do. Download this, I put the NVIDIA card, everything magically works. That's what I hope for the AMD, because previously that wasn't the case. I would log on 3 hours before stream, and 5 minutes up to stream, I'm panicking trying to get stuff to work. It's like, you have to download this. I'm like, do I have to? And it's like, you have to. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I spent 4 hours trying to figure out why the download won't freaking work. I'm like, okay, do a clean download. And it's like, okay. And then everything stops working. It's like, wait, what?
Oh, that's
so
scary. That's
I don't want
scary.
to deal. Yeah, see, but like I said, this is like our knowledge of AMD from like years ago, because like I was like the same way. I was like, you know what, I'm getting tired of this nonsense. But they've like, I'm willing to give them another shot if this is gonna compare to it. But like, because this is like, it's been over a decade for me to have a Radeon card, and there was, as well as there's a reason. Yeah, so like, yeah, so
year.
Oh, so yeah, so no, I was not. I didn't even give it a. Yeah, I didn't even have a chance to give it with when I was starting to stream on it, because like I just knew I had a horrible time back in the day, and I was like, I am not dealing with that nonsense again. So so hopefully they've gotten better with it. But one of the coolest things, because like this week I'm gonna have to get a new motherboard and a processor, which I'm gonna get this Thursday.
Could do it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but what's cool is that if you have the new gen processor, you can actually link it to the 6000 series and give it a little bit of an extra boost of performance too, from what I was hearing. So I wanted to try that out too. So but yeah, so I know for a fact I'm definitely getting an AMD for the core processor, but like then I'll have the choice between either the Radeon or the GTX. But because the GTX is really pissing me off recently, I'm going to be going with I'll be going with the Radeon. I'm free to check out the Radeon, you know. So
yeah,
why
not?
Yeah, so no, it's cool. But we kind of digressed on it, but like no, I think this is a good push for the card. I'm really hoping success on this, because like I said, the best thing is competition between two different companies to be better, you know. So like so hopefully we'll see how that will come out in the near future. But yeah, so it's really looking forward to it. Good deal.
Looks dope.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Last but not least, I don't think I even told you what my subject was, but I was actually going to go back to what Smitty was saying a little earlier. But I know everyone's disappointment of the recent news, but it was Cyberpunk got delayed again. It got pushed by 3 weeks to December 10th. So earlier in the week on Twitter, I woke up in the morning and you got that one letter, that one piece of letter that you see that says Cyberpunk header that's all yellow and neon and stuff, and you're like, oh no. What people were like were hating to see. Well, there was a post that CD Projekt Red posted saying that they decided to move the release date of Cyberpunk 2077 by 21 days, and the new release was going to be on December 10th. Now, I was wondering, like, what did they like? Luckily, when I thought about it, it was like only 21 days. It's like, so what was it that they needed to do? So so this is my guess, and this is my assumption, because from what the letter was this. I'll read an answer right now. The biggest challenge for us right now is shipping the game on current gen, next gen, and PC at the same time, which requires us to prepare and test 9 versions of it. Xbox One X, One X compatibility on Xbox Series S and X, PS4 and PS4 Pro compatibility on the PS5, PC, and Stadia. Wow, I can't believe Stadia is on that list, but still, while working from home. Since Cyberpunk 2077 evolved towards almost being a next gen title somewhere along the way, we need to make sure everything works well and every version run smoothly. So, okay, so it's justifiable on this kind of delay. This isn't a programming delay or a delay of like saying, hey, this is something that's going to be this is going to push because we're wanting to make the gameplay perfect for you to experience the best gameplay of it. No, I feel like this is more of a QA kind of delay. That it's more like there's wanting to make sure that there's not going to be day one glitches or like saying, hey, you put something inside your item box, but then it was eaten and disappears and stuff like that. So I think this is more like that kind of delay. And given the fact that they're doing all of this and they've been working on all of this from work from home at this point, I would cut him a little bit of slack, a slack for it. So like, I was just like, oh, okay. It's very, very, it's sad, but at the same time, it's understandable. But what I don't understand, which is kind of another like a sub part of what I wanted to talk about, is the amount of death threats that these people are getting from this. Have you seen any of this? This is
crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable. But this is 21 days. At this point, this thing got delayed. I think the first delay was in April, got pushed to September, got pushed to November, and then and this overall, like the amount of people, like the amount of like death threats that these developers get is the reason why people are like always make everything so private, because they don't want people's expectations or people to be harassing their guys. It's like, how are y'all so ridiculous? Like, y'all can't wait 3 weeks. like at this point, we've waited almost a year, like at this point, but it doesn't make sense to me. Like towards it, like I forgot, one of the guys showed one of the things off of from this, and I'm like, man, it was like, we're better than this. This is freaking this is insane. Ravage, they're essentially men babies. Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Basically. Yep. I was like, wow, this is a 21 day delay. And this wasn't because of game fixing itself. This is just making sure that you're not downloading a 300 gig patch to fix all the day one bugs and stuff. So I usually commend developers on the level of patience that they have when this kind of thing, especially this insanely AAA. You might as well call this a quadruple A, because everyone and their moms are going to be playing this sucker.
Right.
Towards this, it's so crazy to me with this. So for me, I can wait. All right. The folks who are basically doing that kind of stuff, y'all need to shape the hell up, because that's freaking ridiculous. That's the level that you're going to be going with. That's the game that you're playing, because you're not getting your way. So so I just want to get what y'all's thoughts are, or were y'all disappointed, or like what were y'all's feels when y'all saw that statement?
I mean, here's the deal. Death threats, are you joking? I think people forget that there are other people out there who have friends and family and lives just like we do, and they work a job. Now, if I was working retail and someone gave me a death threat because I ran out of a sweater in their size, I'd be a little frustrated. So I think people need to stop and realize that just because you don't know or see these people, they are real people. That happens all the time in the gaming industry, whether you are front and center or part of the development. It's oh my god, that's annoying. Sorry guys that you are going through that, but here's the deal. I mean, I would rather it get a 21 day delay, and all these people are playing through the game to go through all of these tiny minute details to make sure that it is chef's kiss perfect for you little brats. I don't mind. It's not that big of a deal. I kind of so here's the thing, and we talked about this when it first got delayed in April. This game wouldn't come out till next year. That's what we all said. If this is what's going to happen, for sure, we're not getting this game this year. And you know what? We may not. And if that's the case, like, there are so many games right now. I mean, Smitty, every week it's saying, I'm going to beat this, I'm going to beat this. And then at the end of the week, he goes, I have no time. There are hundreds of thousands of games for you to play to occupy your time. 21 days is not that bad. Now, I do have someone that I know that took the day off to then find out that morning that the game was not available. And
that hurts.
Was frustrated. That hurt. He's not sending death threats, though. Come on. I would marry Keanu Reeves tomorrow if it was possible. I would like to enjoy this game. That doesn't mean I'm going to send death threats to somebody. Oh, no. Uh-oh.
Oh, he lost.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the... I'm still good.
It looks like it's just the camera, the camera to him.
It's crazy to me as far as people going as far to do death threats and things like that. There's a lot of people that hide behind the internet and will say just dumb things. 21 days is not that big of a deal. It's not that bad. Again, we were talking about it. I'd rather have a game be delayed, it come out solid and good as opposed to, you know, something else. So I don't have an issue with this. I think it was a smart move on their part, just to get things. Here's the biggest challenge though too, and I feel like a lot of people are running into this, is that they're trying to do, they're almost being kind of forced, not really forced, but they're trying to do, you know, make the games for both the older, what's going to be the older gen and the next gen. Whereas like, what was it Halo that said, you know what, we're not gonna worry about what we're currently working on. We're moving forward and just focusing on that stuff. I think a lot of people are getting crunched up because of that issue as well.
But it's not something that, but like when you think about it, the game was supposed to come out originally at the beginning of this year. So they were already planning on releasing this on the original architecture of what the game was supposed to be set for. So I think, but at the same time, I don't think that they were surprised that there was going to be a next gen announcement release, because usually developers get these like things to work on, like, you know, the Xbox Series S and PS5 and stuff way in advance, so you know they can easily, you know, move it over, you know. So I think it's not just with that, but I think it was like the problem is the delays that happened initially was caught up with like when the now the game is coming out when the next gen is coming out. You know, like, because at this point, like, let's say if the game was on time that came out in April, they would have time to mess with the patchwork or to do the transfers and stuff like that to upgrade to the next gen consoles and stuff like that. So that's what I think this is. So now I think that the trick is that they will probably are now, since now all of that is being done all at the same time. And let's not even forget about Stadia, because Stadia has a completely different encoding that what this game was using than what no one else is using. So they're making sure all that is all set up correctly to go on. So I can kind of understand how all that stuff is just kind of caught up to them, and then they didn't think, and maybe they just didn't have enough time. They ran out of time to do all of that. So, like, you know what, yeah, do what you got to do. But I just think that, like, when it comes to that kind of stuff, yeah, that's cool. And like I said, because like we don't want this to be like a scenario of what Anthem was. We want this game to be like the game it was intended to be when it was supposed to, what we assumed it to be, what we assumed it was going to be, you know. So that's one of the things that just kind of that's why I've given them this pass. And have you noticed? Yeah, people are enraged, and yes, there are dumbasses out there that they're doing death threats and stuff like that. But at the same time, from the overall look of how things have been going on, how transparent they've been about like these delays and stuff, we can't say that they're not they're not giving up these random surprises and stuff. They've been pretty transparent from the most part when they didn't have to be. So, yeah. So, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say, Lex?
It's not like they're lollygagging. You know what I mean? We all have to take into consideration that this year has not been good for anybody. You know, the quarantine happened, and you know, these people can't be in their offices anymore, so they're having to take all this equipment home, because yeah, I'm sure they all had at-home offices, but not to the equivalent that they did at the studio. You know what I mean? And so we have to take into consideration that something that could have been fixed within a 2-month period in studio may take longer at home, because, you know, they don't have tech staff on hand to be like, hey, my computer just went down, help me out here. You know, files get lost. So many things could happen. And I think, again, people just forget that there are other real people with real lives, you know, out in the world besides them. I feel like we've learned that everyone is very selfish during 2020.
By far.
That is the theme. We started out on cute little islands and inviting people to Animal Crossing, and now we're playing Among Us and we're stabbing ourselves. That is stabbing others, not ourselves. You know, that is a very good representation of how 2020 went down. The toilet paper scenario. I mean, come on. But good for them. They didn't have to tell us anything. They could have been like, nope, sorry, not happening.
I think
the most about it, you know? No, you're fine.
Yeah, I think I think it was kind of jarring too, just because it had been gold lit, and you know what I mean. You know, kind of like we were talking about, like that doesn't happen where like something is good to go for launch, and then all of a sudden they have to pump the brakes. So what are you gonna do, man? This is a different world that we are navigating through, and I also think too that you're right there, Lex. As far as people have a hard time seeing people as seeing these developers, they're just these companies. They're not people with family, trying to navigate through homeschooling, and you know what I mean. Like there is a lot happening in this world behind the scenes, and it's happening all over the world. Everyone is having. It's affecting everybody's lives. People need to calm down a little bit, and just give it time. This isn't, it's not the end of the world that this is getting delayed. Again, I mean, like you were saying, I originally thought, and I still kind of think that there, maybe it doesn't get released until 2021. I don't know.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, again, take the time to make a solid game. That's all I really care about, because you do more damage just trying to rush something out, and then everybody gets salty at you anyway, and then you know what I mean, and death threats and all that stupid crap. Take the time, make it a fire game, and it'll be worth it. The wait will be worth it regardless. All those man babies can sit back down and shut the hell up and play their game.
Eat your tears and play something else. It'll be fine.
essentially yeah. So for the most part, yeah, we'll make sure Cyberpunk is gonna be a fun game. I'm still debating if I want to stream that or not, but like it's still that's one of those kind of games that I'm like on the fence about.
I know, yeah, especially the fact that I'm sure there's gonna be people that will go around trying to spoil it for other people, and those people like that, like you know what I mean, like I'm not gonna say it, but I would like to do things to them and not nice things to them.
But then again, a game like Cyberpunk, I feel like there's going to be multiple ways of playing it that I don't think it's going to be fully ruined, because it's
right.
So I don't think it's going to be so I think there's so many different faucets that you can go through, and different kinds of deals to go to make it your kind of gameplay, so I mean so we'll see. Ooh, nice. Yeah. One of the others.
When I sit down and think about it, though, I don't really even know what the game is about.
Me neither.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, it just looks cool. Like everybody, like I'm just like, it looks cool. Like, I'm about it. I haven't watched all the trailers and like all the I like to go into games blind, as blind as I can, and just experience it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We are pretty blind right now as it is, so definitely. Conquer Moon says, if people could wait for Bill and Ted, then we can wait for this.
I still need to watch that. I still need to watch that last one. For sure.
Oh my God, it's so freaking hilarious. Lex.
Yeah.
What are your plans this week?
That's a great question. After this, I have to think about what my schedule is for this week, because spooky season is technically over. But as we've discussed, I've slowly become a horror streamer anyways.
That hasn't even slowed you down. You were playing like 2 or 3 spooky games prior to October.
I know. Oh, man. So I want to finish Alan Wake. Alan Wake is fantastic. It is everything I was craving in a game. I really
Who gave you that? Who gave you that reference of Alan Wake? I forgot. That was pretty.
I think you did.
No, that wasn't me. I would think it was someone in the chat on that, because I didn't even think about it.
Because we were talking about it after podcast last week, and someone was like, "Why don't you try Alan Wake?"
Yeah.
Because I was like, I kind of want like a story. I don't want to like walk through a house. Because here's the thing: I can't do flashing lights. I can, but I can't. Like it's a certain frequency that makes me go out, and it's very rare. But I've been running into it more and more, sadly. So I like Visage is kind of like right now, I think is out of the question. I'm going to have to talk to somebody who else plays it. But yeah, I think we're going to finish Alan Wake. Of course, Spoopy Tuesday it's Spoopy Tuesday every Tuesday. It doesn't matter what
BTB does. BTB plays it.
Does he?
Yeah, I saw him playing it the other night. Yeah.
Or go through or like scrub through his playthrough and see if it makes me like blah blah blah. So Alan Wake for sure. Spoopy Tuesday we'll play some DBD and Phasmo, because we've added Phasmo to Spoopy Tuesday. Fun fact. And then Wednesday, I don't know, maybe more Alan Wake until we kind of figure out what's the next agenda spoopy game. And of course, Thursday is Community Day. But I think we're gonna start streaming on Fridays and playing Bless Unleashed all day on Fridays because I really like it.
I'm definitely if we're gonna do
I
play on
don't
Fridays, I can
know.
definitely do that.
Yeah, apparently I was like, I'll just play it on Friday, and then I thought about it. I was like, I'm never gonna have a day off. I was like, that's fine. Whatever.
Like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Smitty,
That's how I feel.
what are your plans?
Yeah, like I said, we'll be streaming Blessed Unleash on Thursday. If anybody's looking to get down on that, I will
Well, you
be
play
on that.
on Thursday and then not play it with us on Friday.
I know.
What do you mean?
Is it Thursday? Like, what's your range? Like, is it Thursday to?
That's the last
Sunday?
day that. No, it's like
it's for the
Tuesday to
sponsors.
Thursday. Yeah.
Oh.
I have Thursday
It's
is
the
the
last
last
day.
day.
Yeah, he has to
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
sponsors
Because
in.
I missed the last one.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I plan on doing that on Thursday. But I don't know. We'll see how Thursday goes too. Because I mean, I never had any plans to stream Legion. But I'm kind of having some fun streaming it. I've been enjoying streaming it and playing that on stream. So that's been fun. But that game seems a little. I'm at that point too where like I could see that game could be a little overwhelming for me. So I'm gonna try to stay on track as far as with that as much as possible, and then prepared for the. I'm really hoping, and kind of excited to see what they do as far as their online play for that game and whatnot, being able to.
Might I give you a suggestion? This is what actually works for me with those games because I'm not a big fan of sandbox games because I just get easily sidetracked because there's so much.
Yeah.
I would rather just play the side missions and do the stuff that you like that you're wanting to explore off stream, and then when you're on stream, you can progress in the story. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like for Watch Dogs Legions, because like I'm literally like when I'm because like that's what I was doing in Yakuza. I realized there's too many side missions I want to do, and but like I don't think it would be fun to do all of it because it's very wordy and it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just I'd rather just do that
stuff?
off. Yeah, just do the main story while you're like leveling up and doing what you're wanting to do on your other extra side missions. You can do a couple on your stream,
but not like go down those rabbit holes and stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly. That relieves a lot of pressure off of you, like saying, "Oh, I don't want to miss this."
Right. Even though I do feel like I always say that I'm gonna go back and do these side missions, and I never do once I finish the. When I finish the story, I'm like, all right, I'm done with you.
Yeah, I know that's exactly.
I'm good now.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I totally understand, man. But that's cool.
What about yourself, my friend? Oh, and of course, Extra Life next weekend, guys. Be there. I might not. That's right. I might not stream Friday because I'm streaming Saturday.
Well, that's a good point too. I might not do that.
Yeah.
True.
I'll probably show Friday, and then we're gonna do our stream on Saturday, and that'll be a 12-hour stream.
Yeah, so like same thing. Well, on the first 3 days, Monday through Wednesday, I am going to be playing some more Yakuza 0. Try to finish up the story because I basically finished up almost all what I needed to do on the sides. I'm gonna try to get rid of all the raunchy stuff, so I know I don't want because I want to see the raunchy stuff, but at the same time I know I shouldn't be streaming it. So let's finish that one up. Starting tomorrow. On Thursday. I'm probably going to be playing some more Watch Dogs Legions again for that one day. And then on Friday I may do a short stream with Bless with Lex on this, and we'll definitely and then on Saturday. Do not forget. Wow, that's weird. Do not forget that we will be doing the a Extra Life with all our different channels. I will be on 10 at 10 a.m. This week, 10 a.m. To 10 p.m. Central Time. And Lex Smitty will be on at 6 and 7, right? Are y'all both at 6 and 7? Okay, cool.
He's 7. At 7.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to 6 a.m. He's going to 7 a.m. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So definitely check us out. We're gonna be raising money for an awesome cause. All proceeds are gonna be going to the Children's Hospital. So definitely be a part of that. We're gonna be giving away some stuff. We also have incentives. We've got t-shirts that we've been talking about, dog tags, what have you. So definitely come. Oh yeah, that's right. Lex shaving his head, which is very weird.
Lizard Elsa doing my makeup.
Yeah. So there you go. So we got a lot. It will be a fun time. So definitely check us all out on that. Thanks to Ravage on the dog tags. That's going to be they look very awesome. Would definitely suggest y'all folks to be a part of that. So to check it out. So thank you again on that. Excuse me. And maybe we have the special edition Doc Limitless dog tag that we all know about.
Mint at least one of those for me, son. Come on now. Yeah.
Oh my god. Dude, we have to get a limit. I think we have to get a limit of that. Oh boy. All right, guys. Guys, thank you for watching this episode number 71 of the CFG GameCast. We'll be back again next week. Actually, we probably won't be back. We're gonna probably take a week off on that.
Season finale.
Unless I'll tell you what, we'll figure it out. Let's say, no, we can't because y'all gonna be doing a 12 hours. So no, we're gonna be off. So we're gonna do the week. We're gonna be off this following week. So definitely check us out. We're gonna be back again the week after for some more for some awesome content. So this is you can definitely check us any other episodes from our previous episodes on any podcast service, Apple, Google Podcast, Stitcher Radio, what have you, on any of those services, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to check out all the stuff that we like to do, reviews, news, what have you, on all services there. So once again, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing off. Y'all take it easy.
Bye.